Well, how y'all doing? Well, my question in this video is, has Africa changed? When I was 10 or 11 years old, I used to see these commercials for CARE, you know, the charitable organization, and I used to see the flies all over the African children. They were dirty and nasty, excuse me. They were dirty and nasty. The adults were dirty and nasty. Children had snot on their nose. They had dust on their I just don't understand why people poor and nasty, you know, because water is free and soap is cheap. I mean, even in Africa, you can go to the river and get you a bucket of water, boil it, and you can bathe, okay? But I just don't understand this being poor and filthy. I can understand being poor. I mean, I myself can go without food for 3 or 4 days. I myself can do that. But I'm going to be clean while I'm doing it, okay? I'm going to take a shower or bath every day. I'm going to be clean while I'm starving. Okay, so I don't really understand it. And okay. Now, you take like now. Okay, now you see children with back then you see children with their hair uncombed, whether they're boys or girls. The adults hardly comb their hair. Okay, that's what I saw when I was 10 or 12. These are the images I saw of Africa. Now I know that right now Africans have better cars. You see the cars. They have skyscrapers. They have nice apartments. They have nice houses, modern houses. But yet I still see the same thing in Africa. I still see flies on children. I still see dusty children, dirty children, hair uncombed for the babies, hair uncombed for the older children. Now in 10-11, when I was 10-11 years ago, Africa always allowed these particular European countries to take over Africa and exploit the minerals underneath Africa, because this is where all the gold and diamonds and all the precious metals are in Africa. Okay, and that still happens. Okay, I see the same thing that I saw it when I was 10 or 11 years ago. I still see flies around children. I still see dirty children covered in dust. I still see dirty children that haven't had a bath in a month. I still see adults that haven't had a bath in a month. The adults don't comb the girls' hair in particular, but yet when Africans want to go across the world on Facebook, you know, they'll do all these fancy hairdos. They'll braid their fancy hairdos, but they won't do anything when they're young. I mean, but why do they wait till they're adults to do anything with the child's hair? Okay, the girl's hair is not combed, neither the boy's hair is not combed. Okay, but I still see they're extremely dirty. I still see that at this point in time. Now, a lot of times they shave the boy's hair or shave the girl's hair because they're too lazy to comb it. See, they don't want to comb it, so they're just too lazy to comb it, so they shave it. Okay, they're just too lazy to comb it. Okay, and you know what? Africans, they're still starving. They're still starving, even though they're surrounded by land. I saw that when I was young. But see, that hasn't changed. Africa's still starving, even though it's surrounded by land. It can grow just about any kind of, it's so tropical, it can grow just about any kind of fruit and vegetable. And Africans, Sudan, Ethiopia, the children are dirty, the grown-ups are dirty, even though they're surrounded by water. All you gotta do is take that water from the lake, boil it, and put some soap on everybody, on children in particular. That's all they gotta do. Soap, S-O-A-P. But they don't use it. You know, 10, 11 years ago, Africans were steeped in voodoo. When I was 10, 11, they were steeped in voodoo. They've been steeped in voodoo for thousands, for millennia, really. And they still steeped in voodoo, okay? If anybody is handicapped in Africa, they don't have any care whatsoever. They got to live with the handicap for 40, 50 years. They don't even get wheelchairs. They don't get crutches so they can walk better. The kids have to, if they have any kind of handicap, the children have to stay home. They don't get to go to school and learn how to read and write. Just because they have a certain handicap. There's no hospital treatment at all. And that is now. That is in this day and time. And like I said, Africans, like I see a poor African in a house surrounded by beautiful trees, all kinds of trees, but yet they're starving. And that makes no sense to me. They got beautiful banana trees and beautiful palm trees, and yet they're starving. Which makes no sense to me. You know, they could grow all kinds of sweet potatoes and all kinds of trees, and they just don't. They don't understand it. They're surrounded by land, but they don't grow anything. Surrounded by water, but they don't boil the water and bathe the water. Now, what I see sometimes in the third world, particularly Asian countries, they'll go find a little bit of water somewhere, and they just take it, they'll bathe, put soap over them and bathe, and that filthy water goes back in the lake. See, okay, so you do that, now you're polluting the lake. If you bathe near the lake and the water your filthy water from your filthy body goes back in the lake, now you have polluted the lake. And you take that happens in the Asian countries. In India, they polluted, the lakes are just black with pollution. Okay, Indians will do this often. They'll take some water from the lake, wash some clothes in it, and then put the filthy water back in the lake. So now the water is polluted, and the clothes are not clean. Okay, clothes are actually dirtier than what they were before. Now, even to this day, Africa still allows countries to overtake them, European countries, and now they are allowing China to grab up land and exploit the resources, get the resources. And what did the African get? Zero. They always get zero. They allow these foreign countries to overtake them, export, get the minerals, get all the precious metal, and they get zero for the trouble. They get zero. They don't get nothing. They get nothing. All they get was dirt. All they get is dust. They're still doing it. Now China is exploiting Africa. So Africa has not learned from its mistakes. You know what? As an individual, I try to learn from my mistakes. If I made a mistake doing this and doing that, I'm going to ask myself why I made that mistake. But I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Africans make mistake after mistake, but they haven't learned their lesson. So look, the Africans, when I was 10, 11, the Africans were saying like, look, we're starving, we don't have anything to do, so let's go to war. That's what they're saying now. We're starving, we don't have anything to do, so let's go to war. We don't have nothing to do, let's go to war. Okay? Now see, that makes the news too. Okay, the Africans are starving, they go to war, everybody gets killed. Okay, Africa has not learned anything from their mistakes. They haven't. They have made mistake after mistake through the millennium, and they haven't learned anything from their mistakes. Have a nice day.